Good evening. Today let's discuss Eugene J. Bullard. Eugene Jacques Bullard is considered to be the first African American military pilot to fly in combat and the only African American pilot in World War I. Ironically, he never flew for the United States. Born October 9, 1895, in Columbus, Georgia, to William Bullard, a former slave, and Josephine Bullard, Eugene's early youth was unhappy. He made several unsuccessful attempts to run away from home, one of which resulted in his being returned home and beaten by his father. In 1906, at the age of 11, Bullard ran away for good, and for the next 6 years he wandered the South in search of freedom. In 1912, he stowed away on the Marta Russ, a German freighter bound for Hamburg, and ended up in Aberdeen, Scotland. From there, he made his way to London, where he worked as a boxer and a slapstick performer in Belle Davis's Freedmen Pickaninnies, an African American entertainment troupe. In 1913, Bullard went to France for a boxing match. Settling in Paris, he became so comfortable with French customs that he decided to make a home there. He later wrote, "It seems to me that French democracy influenced the minds of both black and white Americans there and helped us all act like brothers." After World War I had begun in the summer of 1914, Bullard enlisted in the French Foreign Legion. While serving with the 170th Infantry Regiment, Bullard fought in the Battle of Verdun, February to December 1916, where he was wounded seriously. He was taken from the battlefield and sent to Lyon to recuperate. While on leave in Paris, Bullard bet a friend $2,000 that despite his color, he could enlist in the French flying service. Bullard's determination paid off, and in November 1916, he entered Aéronautique Militaire. Bullard began flight training at Tours in 1916 and received his wings in May 1917. He was first assigned to Escadrille Spa 93 and then Escadrille Spa 85 in September 1917, where he remained until he left the Aéronautique Militaire in November 1917. Bullard claimed two aerial victories, a Fokker triplane and a False D-3, but neither could be confirmed. Some accounts say that one victory was confirmed. During his flying days, Bullard is said to have had an insignia on his Squad 7C1 that portrayed a heart with a dagger running through it and the slogan, "All blood runs red." Reportedly, Bullard flew with a mascot, a racist monkey named Jimmy. Part 2 will be in the comments. Part 2. After the United States entered the war in 1917, Bullard attempted to join the U.S. Air Force, but he was not accepted, ostensibly because he was an enlisted man, and the Air Force required pilots to be officers and hold at least the rank of first lieutenant. In actuality, he was rejected because of the racial prejudice that existed in the American military during that time. Bullard returned to the Aéronautique Militaire, but he was summarily removed after an apparent confrontation with a French officer. He returned to the 170th Infantry Regiment until his discharge in October 1919. After the war, Bullard remained in France, where he worked in a nightclub called Zéli's in the Montmartre district of Paris, owned a nightclub, the Grand Duc, and an American-style bar, operated an athletic club, and married a French woman, Marcel de Stroman. During this time, Bullard rubbed elbows with notables like Langston Hughes, F. Scott Fitzgerald, and Josephine Baker. By the late 1930s, however, the clouds of war began to change Bullard's life dramatically. even before World War II officially began in 1939, Bullard became involved in espionage activities against French Fifth columnists who supported the Nazis. When the war came, he enlisted as a machine gunner in the 51st Infantry Regiment and was severely wounded by an exploding artillery shell. Fearing capture by the Nazis, he made his way to Spain, Portugal, and eventually the United States, settling in the Harlem district of New York City. After his arrival in New York, Bullard worked as a security guard and a longshoreman. In the post-World War II years, Bullard took up the cause of civil rights. In the summer of 1949, he was involved in an altercation with the police and a racist mob at the Paul Robeson concert in Peekskill, New York, in which he was beaten by police. Another incident involved a bus driver who ordered Bullard to sit in the back of the bus. These events left Bullard deeply disillusioned with the United States, and he returned to France, but was unable to resume his former life there. During his lifetime, the French showered Bullard with honors, and in 1954, he was one of 3 men chosen to relight the everlasting flame at the tomb of the unknown soldier in Paris. In October 1959, he was made a Knight of the Legion of Honor, the highest ranking order and decoration bestowed by the French. It was the 15th decoration given to him by the French government. In the epilogue to his well-researched book, Eugene Bullard, Black Expatriate in Jazz Age Paris, Craig Lloyd points out the poignancy of Bullard's situation in the United States. The contrast between Eugene Bullard's unrewarding years of toil and trouble early and late in life in the United States and his quarter century of much heralded achievement in France illustrates dramatically the crippling disabilities imposed on the descendants of Americans of African ancestry. In 1992, the McDonnell Douglas Corporation donated to the National Air and Space Museum a bronze portrait head of Bullard created by Eddie Dixon, an African-American sculptor.